Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, and by Grunt Style. We are so glad you joined us here on the Motor Racing Network, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here. What a show we have, okay? We have Daryn Pittman coming on, okay? No shocker that we would talk to Daryn Pittman.
Yep.
Got back to Victory Lane with the World of Outlaws. We're going to talk to NASCAR legend Dave Marcis. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? Dave was at Williams Grove. He hung out with Fred Raymer and Freddie in Victory Lane with the All-Stars. We're going to find out how in the world this happened. So, great program. We're glad you joined us. Erin Evernham alongside after a weekend of hobnobbing in Pebble Beach. How about that?
Yes, we had a great weekend. We spent the weekend at Pebble Beach Concours. We brought a car, the Mario Andretti rookie Indy car that Ray has, or we have, and we actually won best in class. It was a real surprise. We had no expectation of winning, but it was a thrill. It was a thrill.
It really is. Ray Evernham, of course, Erin's other half. She's the better half. He's the other half. Restores a lot of cars. And, of course, if you follow along with motorsports at all, you're very familiar with Ray. And he's restored this Mario Andretti car. Now, the cool thing was, during the award ceremony, you were actually behind the wheel of the car, right?
Yes. So I'm the only one who fits in the car because Mario is so little. So Ray was like, well, I guess you'll have to drive. I'm like, oh, darn. So I had to tie up my dress and take the heels off and climb in. And honestly, it was one of the greatest thrills of my career. Yes, I wasn't actually like racing the car, but the crowd, the experience, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, because what they do, they take the top 3 and they roll third, and then they roll second, and poor Erin's sitting there all by herself. But at that point, you knew that there was a reason you were by yourself.
Absolutely, and I had Jay Leno's give me double thumbs up. I saw Jerry Seinfeld. I was like, enjoying the moment. It was really special.
Not a World of Outlaw win, but pretty close,
No,
right?
it was in Knoxville. Not that I ever won at Knoxville, but, it's pretty cool to be able to go one weekend to Knoxville Nationals and Pebble Beach. Life is good right now.
I think so. I think that's phenomenal. Congratulations to you, to Ray, to
Thank
everyone. You guys work really hard on the restoration stuff. Let's take a look at our classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. The Arctic All-Star Circuit of Champions. Now, we have talked about how good the All-Stars are.
Yep.
Okay? 5 races in central Pennsylvania, 4 nights, and the All-Stars took it 3-2. Winners, Erin Reitzel at Grandview, Freddie Raymer and Jim Siegel, the twin 20s at Williams Grove, Carson Macedo at Lincoln, and how about Tony Stewart getting the win on Sunday night?
That was great to see it. After how down he was on our show at Knoxville, I was thrilled to see him in Victory Lane.
Very happy to see Tony win. The irony of it is everyone throws that stat about Williams Grove out 35-0 or whatever it is. It's still, whatever it is, it's old.
Yeah, the
but
one night.
Everywhere else. I'll say this, a couple of notes from that. Freddie Raymer.
Yeah.
Wow, and he likely won Lincoln. He had an engine failure with 2 laps to go leading the thing, and he was doing really good. And who had Kyle Larson going 5 races in sprint cars without winning?
Not me.
No, I didn't have that either. So I think it just goes to show. It goes to show 2 of our topics this year. The All-Stars have been stout this year. And once Pennsylvania got rolling this year, they've been stout. And I think when you pull Kyle Larson in there and he goes 0 for 5, I think that just shows how good things are.
For sure.
Now, they knew Larson was there. There's no denying that. But great stuff up in central Pennsylvania. And I'm just glad they got 4 nights of racing in. Great for the All-Stars, great for Pennsylvania. The All-Stars the weekend before were 1 for 3 in New York State. And just good to see racing across the board. How about this? 2018 Knoxville Raceway champ, Austin McCarl. Isn't that cool?
Very neat to see. And his brother was the Rookie of the Year in the 410s. And your dad finished his second. But how about the lights out? Did you see that?
Yeah, the lights out in Knoxville,
The pictures of that were so cool.
Yeah, the power outage. So as Kendra tweeted, they started with snow in the first race and no power in the last race. But in between, they had a pretty good season.
Yes, for sure.
And so kudos to Austin McCarl. Now, how about this? I talked to Carl Bowser up at Route 66 in Joliet in June, and everything was good, rolling along, but a split with the Ciappelli racing team. Okay, so this happens the first of last week.
Wow.
Carl decides that he's not done racing. So him, his wife, his in-laws, his outlaws, and this person and that person, and they go get a car, and they go get a truck, and they grab a socket wrench, and they, they probably didn't even have a bull or a mule, okay? He goes to Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, and he won.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
It
It's
is
not
a great
quite
story.
Dobmeyer-ish. Yeah, but it's
similar.
pretty close. Very similar to Dobmeyer. He didn't move houses. That's the thing.
Yeah, or shops.
Exactly. Yeah. And then from out west, this kid, I've been talking with Tanner Thorson. He spends a lot of time here on the East Coast because he drives for Young Motorsports, which is an alliance with Richard Childress Racing. Want to get that youngster in studio here. He keeps winning races every week, so we may have to call him. But Tanner Thorson picked up the Johnny Key Classic at Ocean Speedway. That kid can wheel a car, and hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with him along the way as well. So there you have it. Your classicing screen printing and embroidery hot topics. Great for hats, for towels, for hoodies, for shirts, for all kinds of things, whether for a sprint car team, a race car team, a corporate event, a church group, a school group, or whatever you need, they have. It's www.classicinkusa.com. Sage Fruit guest list, Daryn Pittman and Dave Marcis. We'll talk to Daryn Pittman in just a moment.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing. Sage Fruit has been a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the last 15 years and a proud partner of Wing Nation for the last 3 years. We love sprint car racing, and we are there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
O'Reilly. Defend your vehicle from harmful elements and restore shine with Armor All Original Protectant. For a limited time, O'Reilly Auto Parts has a great deal on a 16-ounce bottle of Armor All Protectant for $4.99. Renew, revitalize, and protect your vehicle with Armor All Protectant. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Find Wing Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Let's go to the Weld Racing Hotline, joining us fresh off a trip to Victory Lane up in the Big Sky country of Montana. Daryn Pittman's on the line. Hello, Daryn. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I am fantastic. Congratulations on the win. Had to be relieving to get back to Victory Lane, and just had to be a big night for you and the family and everyone else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We, I don't know why, I've always ran pretty well there at that track, and I always look forward to going there for sure. The fans turn out in huge numbers up in Billings, always have. So, yeah, it was good to get back in Victory Lane and try to get our season turned around and get some momentum going on our way, but mainly just good for our guys to see some good results for it seems like it's been a while.
Daryn, talk about this time of the season. It seems like after Knoxville, it's kind of, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've done it, but it seems like a little pressure's off. You have a little more time during the week. You're traveling a different part of the country. Does any of that kind of help that it's maybe a little less pressure, a little more family time? I don't know. It just seems like, different time of season. Did that help at all to get you back in Victory Lane?
Yeah, I'm not sure it helps, but I do. I know exactly what you mean, and you're spot on with that. Is I've always enjoyed this time of the year for sure. Definitely putting Knoxville in the rearview mirror is, I think a good thing for everyone except the winner. And I've just always enjoyed the drive on the West Coast out through this part of the country. And we're able to take my family, and we're actually at a really nice RV resort up in Montana right now. So, yeah, I think, the atmosphere becomes a little more relaxed. And like you said, you get a few more days off and time to, go and explore, some of the most beautiful parts of our country. So, like I said, always enjoyed it. Always enjoyed this drive and time of the season. And it's definitely a mental sport. So I think getting your head right and enjoying what you're doing definitely helps your performance. But it probably definitely didn't hurt.
Daryn, when I look at your season, we had this conversation about 2 months ago. Getting back on your game, you started a little slower than you wanted. Getting back on your game, you go out, you win some races. You really had some good speed, and then kind of the wheels fell off again. Get through Knoxville and everything like this. How would you describe where you're at this point in the season and the roller coaster ride you have seemed to have been on?
Yeah, it's tough to really put my finger on where we're at, but that's been a really good description. We just seem to be either feast or famine. Obviously, we just won Saturday, so that, it's not exactly it's just one race. If we can continue that, it's kind of been the trend of our year. Hopefully, we can do that at Skagit as well, like we did last year. But it seems like when we're good, we're really good, and when we're off, we're just a long way off. We just haven't been able to get that consistency, and so. There's just been a lot of factors that have gone into our season from beginning all the way to the end, and stuff that we've just been having to fight through. And a lot of it for me has been stuff away from the racetrack as well, and off the track. So just trying to stay focused and do a good job for my team and get my head straight where it needs to be, and focus on trying to win races. So. We're fighting hard with our team to, be successful and to try to land some sponsorship so that, we can continue and on next year and years to come. So, no better way to do that than winning races. And, that's always been the name of the game. So we'll just keep working hard to do that and finish the year out as strong as we can.
For sure. Daryn, we talked to you a lot about the ups and downs of the sport, but reading the press release from your win, it said it was your 78th career World of Outlaw win. Do you ever take a step back and appreciate? I mean, that's a pretty significant number of wins right there. That's really impressive.
Yeah, it's, honestly, you can look back at that and it's, there's times you go through like, man, am I ever going to win again? And you wonder, where you're at or, how things are going, and look back and go, man, we've had a really great career. I don't feel like I've been doing it that long, but obviously when you look back to, when my first year was, been doing it a long time, next to Donnie, been the second longest one out here on tour right now. And had a few years off there, obviously, when I went to Pennsylvania, but, very fortunate to, be able to win and be with as many good teams as I've been able to be with over my career that, have allowed me to get those wins. One big number that I was working hard at before they redid all the stats was, I was one win shy of tying Dave Blaney and Stevie Smith. And those were two, those were my two favorite drivers growing up. So, when I saw those numbers that, I felt like I was going to be able to tie, my two childhood heroes, I thought that was pretty cool. Since they've redone it, I've got a lot more wins to catch up to it. They found all the prelim wins in there as well. So I've got still got quite a few wins before I can catch either one of them. But, I think when I, look back and see where I rank in, wins and the people that I have more than, is pretty, humbling to me to realize that, we've been able to accomplish this, over my career.
6th win of the season, so you keep racking them up and keep moving forward. That's for sure. Daryn, final question for him and for you, and you kind of acknowledged this or admitted this. Right now, the panels on the side of the car are blank. How active are you? What's the status? I know you had ionomy in the car earlier in the year. They came off the car. Where are they at? And how active are you in this process, or what's your role in this process other than parking it in Victory Lane, which is important, as you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's my main goal is just, I can only control, the performance of the car as much as I can. So that's what I'm focused on. And honestly, what I've always have been, regardless of how we're running. But, the status is, we're not off of where we knew we were going to be at sometimes. We hoped that they could sign some stuff. But at the start of the year, ionomy came on for basically around a third of the season. They were new to racing. They wanted to get their feet wet, and they elected to do a primary sponsorship over a shorter amount of time of the season rather than just being an associate for the whole year. They've been extremely happy. They have loved the brand awareness that we've been able to give them in our sport, and they are in full negotiations for next year. time. They've been extremely happy with what we've been able to do for them. So we're looking forward and hopeful that they will be back for next season. I think they'd love to do, the same thing that they've done, if not maybe even a little bit more. But that's a lot of that's all out of my hands. So KKR's got a great group of guys, people between Lisa and Kevin that work hard at trying to sell the sponsorships. And we knew at the beginning of the season that we did not have a full-time sponsor for the whole year, and they hoped to sign something. And Evernham was actually so happy with what they had going on, they actually expanded what they initially had signed up for. So that was obviously all good news as well. So they're just working hard to, try to secure, either a full-time sponsor for the whole season, or obviously if we've got a couple of sponsors together, for next season, that will work as well. So they're working hard at it, and the plan right now, obviously, what I've been told is to run, me and Brad full-time, and Casey, is wanting to do a part-time schedule. We just got to secure the funding to be able to do that.
Nice. That's good to hear that some folks are happy there. And like you said, parking it on the front stretch at the end of the night and climbing on top of that wing doesn't hurt anything. Daryn, enjoy the extended time here with the family out on the West Coast this week, Skagit, and on down into California. Enjoy that, and appreciate the time joining us here today.
Cool, no problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
There we go. Daryn Pittman joining us here on the program. So great stuff. Great to always chat, and good to see him smiling in victory lane.
Yes, very good to see him.
Really cool. Hey, we need to step away. We've got a fascinating story coming up. How in the wide world of sports did Dave Marcis, NASCAR legend, end up at Williams Grove? We'll have that next.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is proud to announce their feature exhibit for 2018, The Salute to Champion Brian Clausen. Open May 1st through October 1st. See the race cars Brian Clausen drove during his illustrious racing career and the trophies, uniforms, and memorabilia Brian amassed while driving sprint cars, midgets, Indy cars, and NASCAR. The Salute to Champion Brian Clausen exhibit, only at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, located in Turn 2 at Knoxville Raceway.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
This is Brian Brown, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
Thank you, Brownie. Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post. A lot of times here we get a chance to talk about the birthday calendar. No birthdays today, none yesterday. Tomorrow, Brad Knopfsinger. Daryn Pittman's birthday. We forgot to wish.
Happy birthday, Daryn.
Yeah, happy birthday, Daryn. Yeah. Why don't you go to Montana to an RV park and hang with the family? Hey, how about that?
Maybe get in Victory Lane celebrate that still.
Yeah, exactly. Go back to Victory Lane at Skagit. Steve Beitler will have a nice trophy for you up there. Later this week, Tim Kading, Bill Vukovich III, Sheldon Hodenshield, Norman Martin, Roger Rager, and Dean Jacobs have birthdays coming up as well. Tomorrow would have been the birthday of George Nessler. Okay, 2018 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He was a legendary owner from Piscataway, New Jersey. He was a bus driver who owned sprint cars on the side. Okay, drivers included Earl Hallequist, Lee Earnshaw, Nick Fernaro, Larry Dixon, Dick Toby Tobias, 56 wins, 5 championships in URC, and a Hall of Famer. As George Nessler. You can learn all about George at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, turn number 2 in Knoxville, Iowa. So the story is this, Erin. I wake up on Saturday morning and I start to see Dave Marcus pictures at Williams Grove, and I'm like, what in the wide world of sports is going on? I said, we got it. We're Motor Racing Network. We're the voice of NASCAR. We know Dave. We know sprint cars, and we've got to figure out what's going on. And joining us on the World Racing Hotline is Dave Marcus. Hello, Dave. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hello, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Now, I want to talk about this sprint car stuff, but then your friend Richard Childress just announced this morning that you're going to be honored with a throwback paint scheme at Darlington with Matt Tifft. So what does that mean to you to be honored at Darlington this coming weekend?
Well, it's pretty nice, I guess. They just called me yesterday and informed me about it. I appreciate it. It's nice. So I guess I'm going to go on down there Friday afternoon and spend the afternoon there and Saturday.
Nice. That's awesome. I just love the Darlington throwback weekend. Dave, as Steve mentioned, how did you end up at Williams Grove this past weekend?
Well, I've got a friend, Freddie Raymer, and I'm sure you know who he is. And he's been in sprint cars for many years, and his son Freddie is driving now. Another fellow that Dave Pritchard from Newburyport, Massachusetts, helped sponsor my race car through many years of my career, and he's been helping Freddie for about the past 10 years or something, I think, with the sprint car. He's been trying to get me to come to a couple sprint car races for, I don't know, the past 5 or 6 years, and he called me and said there's an all-star show coming up here at Williams Grove, and then they race Saturday night at Lincoln. Why don't you and Helen come on up? So I said, okay, we'll do it. So Thursday we went up to Pennsylvania.
Well, then you go, to Pennsylvania, and Freddie drives by Kyle Larson to win. That had to be a pretty special time there for those guys.
It was very special. I enjoyed it very much, and I think he done a fantastic job. And then, of course, Saturday night it looked like he had that one too. And then 3 laps from the end, he lost an engine. So, I think he's very aggressive, a very hard worker. When he jumps out of that race car, he's right to work on it instantly. It kind of reminds me of myself, I guess, when I was racing. But I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I know Timmy Schaefer. I know some of those guys. More of them know me than I know them, I guess. But I've always enjoyed the sprint cars because I've gone to World of Outlaw shows with Danny Lazowski and Steve Kintzer and Lonnie Parsons and some of those guys. So it's good racing. They put on a great show. There is no doubt about it. The grandstands at Lincoln Saturday night were just jam-packed.
That's just what I was going to ask you about. You've been around motorsports for a long time, and you've been exposed to every form of motorsports. Talk about what it is about sprint cars that you love. What was it about the show? What is it about attracting the fans right now?
Well, I think the fans, they show great interest, and it's like true race fans follow a sport, and they're loyal to it. And the sprint car guys, a biggest majority of them, are hands-on guys, and that was how I was kind of through my career. And they put their heart and soul in it. Every penny they make, they put back in it to stay in business. And it's, I think people appreciate competitors like that because most people, good true race fans, a lot of them are just blue-collar workers. That is, I think, what we had in the era of the sport in NASCAR that I went through. Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough, Richard Petty. I mean, Bobby and Donnie worked on their cars. Dale worked on his cars when he was in the sport, especially when he first got involved. So, I mean, it's just good, down-to-earth people. Everybody talks to you. The race fans, after the race, I noticed at the sprint car races, we're all down in the pits getting autographs. The drivers were signing autographs, so that's what makes the sport happen and keeps people in the grandstands.
My gosh.
Those little children seeking autographs or their parents bringing them down to get one are your future customers.
Mm-hmm.
is just absolutely. You may have just hit on everything that's going on in the world of motorsports now. Dave, what else are you other than jumping in the car with Helen and going to Williams Grove? What are you up to now? What sort of projects are you working on? What are you doing? What's a day or a week in the life of Dave Marcis look like?
Well, I ain't got no real special products, but I've got hunting land in Wisconsin. I've also got a bar, a motel, and a restaurant up there, so I'm back and forth with that. But I plant food plots up there. I make firewood. I've got a big garden here in North Carolina. I got a dump truck. I got a small backhoe. I still work at my shop on some projects with my son-in-law, so I'm still up at 6 in the morning and go to bed when I'm done working when it gets dark most of the time.
My gosh, that's phenomenal. You plant food plots. What is that?
The what now?
You said something about up in Wisconsin you plant food plots. What is that?
Well, for deer hunting.
Okay.
So I got about a couple hundred acres of land up there, and then I go up there and plow them and plant corn and rye and wheat and stuff like that for the deer.
Nice. Absolutely great. Well, I'm telling you, I was so excited on Saturday when I saw the pictures start to show up on social media that you were enjoying Williams Grove. We appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you. I'll have the MRN shirt on, the NASCAR shirt on. We'll catch up with you this week in Darlington, but thanks for the time here today.
All right. Thank you very much.
There we go. Dave Marcis. Let's do this. Let's take a break. I may have to get up on, let me see, we got all this stuff taken care of. I may have to get on my soapbox when we get back because the man's a genius and what he just said. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 27th year. Whether you're catching the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at tracks like Williams Grove, Skagit Speedway, Knoxville Raceway, Lucas Oil Speedway, or any of the 6 regional tours across the United States, you'll find the ASCS Nation racing at a track near you. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Then see the full schedule, track-by-track history, updates, and more at ASCSRacing.com.
O'Reilly. When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
I'm Greg Wilson, driver of the Hercules Tire W20. Now back to Steve Post and Erin Evernham on Wing Nation.
Welcome back. Thanks, Greg. Great to have you back. I am telling you, we just had Dave Marcis on the Weld Racing Hotline, and Dave Marcis in a 3 or 4 minute, 6-minute interview, 3 or 4 minutes, or 2 minutes, 1 minute, talking about he may have just absolutely nailed everything that's going on in the state of racing beyond sprint car racing.
I absolutely agree.
It's just, I'm sitting there saying, this is, we know, we understand that NASCAR is working to find its footing. NASCAR's great. We love our NASCAR, but we understand to find the footing. Dave Marcis' answer might have been the answer to what's going on.
You can relate to the drivers. They're hardworking. You can come out and see them in the pits after.
Absolutely. And he found that at Williams Grove and Lincoln, and just great stuff. Absolutely great. We appreciate Dave joining us. I can't wait. I'm going to walk right up to him at Darlington and shake his hand. I just think that's phenomenal. I really do. And I love when our worlds collide because I'm not one of these sprint car fans that dislikes NASCAR, and I'm not one of these NASCAR fans that dislike sprint cars. I love it all. And when our worlds come together, especially with a guy like Dave Marcis, I love to see that. I was geeked up. When I saw the first picture, it was just someone retweeted something, and I hit Deb Raymer up on Texter. I said, was Dave Marcis with you guys? And she says, yeah, and he went out and drank beer with Fred afterward. Like, how about that? Now, there you go. I can relate to that. That's for sure.
Of course you can.
Yes, coming up Thursday on Wing Nation Weekend, Jack Dover's going to join us. Wow, as we set up
He's
the
had
big
a
race
year.
weekend. Yeah, he's been rolling, that's for sure. So great stuff along the way, and just good chance to talk with Daryn Pittman and Dave Marcis. Not a combination you see on your average radio show. Hey, we need to step away, and thanks for joining us this week here on MRN's Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Wing Nation can be found on demand at mrn.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.